I'm really getting nervous about these clouds, is, first off, is there any other questions? Yes?
Can you refresh my memory and tell me what quadrant of the city is Area 1, 2, 3, and 4?
She wants to know what are the sectors for the city. So the coordinators up here, they have signs that list, and when I get done here making sure that I've answered any questions, they're going to have a sign that shows their area and what the boundaries are. So essentially, Area 1 of Taylor is bounded by Van Born, Telegraph, Goddard, and Inkster. Area 2 of Taylor is bounded by Van Born, Pelham, Goddard, and Telegraph. Area 3 is bordered by Goddard, Telegraph, Pennsylvania, and Inkster. Area 4 is bounded by Goddard, Allen Road, Pennsylvania, and Telegraph. Okay? But they're going to have signs up here. Any other questions before I have these four coordinators stand up? No?
There's a couple over here.
I have one.
Yes, Doug.
I have a couple of neighbors back neighborhood complaining about some young people playing basketball and peddling drugs on the street.
Mm-hmm.
One of the neighbors.
Okay.
A lot of our young people.
I'm trying to be nice, okay? But we give the information. So how, as a neighborhood watch person, should we handle that particular situation?
Again, be a good witness. Try and get as good a description as you can. Physical description. If there's any vehicles involved, try and jot down the vehicles. If you're able to get a license plate without putting yourself in harm's way, that's always helpful, but I emphasize without putting yourselves in harm's way. Times of day that this is happening, is it a particular day or time of night, the general area or address, and then you can either call it in directly to your coordinator who can filter it in, or if it's an emergency situation, by all means call us directly. Those situations are always very difficult. Again, by having these individual meetings, we get a feel for how ongoing and serious a problem is, and then we can devote proper resources to it.
And follow up on that, is there a standard reporting form that can be created so that people are getting the correct information?
I mean, we certainly can.
She looks right at me.
She's in charge of forms.
So yeah, I can do that.
Did I answer your question?
Yes, you did. Thank
Okay.
you very much.
So I think he would.
That goes on 24/7. I live on the corner.
You know, and again, it's a big.
I watch him deal drugs every single day. I saw him here probably 20 times. Right away, what's your name? I'm not giving my name because I don't want my windows rolled down. I don't feel safe going down my street.
Okay.
Coming to the apartment, somebody's 30 years old, watch you get on the bus. Who knows where the phone is coming from? I call Drano. I get different answers everybody I talk to.
Okay. I understand your frustration, but what I don't want to have happen is this program turn into a complaining session either. I can't tell you how frustrated I become and the mayor becomes by seeing things on Facebook. If not for my position, I would completely deactivate my account. I see a lot of negativity, I see a lot of complaining, I see a lot of people who are on there complaining who I don't see here tonight. If you're not planning to be a part of the solution, then we don't really need you in the program. And I'm not referring to you, sir. What I'm going with that is, this city is 24 square miles. We have 75 police officers, but only 7 or 8 of them may be working in a particular platoon, because all 75 do not work at the same time. Our staff, the mayor has been very good and very supportive of raising our ranks. And I've given him a number where I think we need to be to police this city safely and effectively, and he's in agreement with that number. But until we can get there, quite frankly, there are going to be people who don't get police service if we don't get help from people like you. We cannot service this city the way we did when we had 106 police officers. Does that make sense? That's the problem. Our ranks have fallen, but people still expect the same level of service. Drano, the Michigan State Police, they've also, when I worked undercover for Drano 18 years ago, we had 3 teams of 10 people. They have 1 team now. one team of narcotics undercover officers. So I'm not complaining, I'm explaining. So we need your patience. We do the best we can, and that's why having these meetings, by trying with people emphasizing to us, no, you don't understand, Chief, this is going on every day, every Friday night, they're out here doing this and that, and then I can go back and go, get on this right now. Because there's other people I can call in. Right now we're working on something in one area of the city where now I'm reaching out to other federal agencies and other state agencies to do an all hands on deck. That's where we're at. Yes, sir.
Can I offer a suggestion from one neighbor to another? These cell phones now have great cameras, probably taking a picture.
Absolutely. Major location stuff too.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
You say to get the license plate numbers. What
If it's safe to do so.
Okay. What if there's so many cars that they're switching out plates and switching out cars that you have gotten 4 to 5 different cars, but they're the same people?
Well, that all ends up still being helpful.
I had a neighbor ended up following one of them straight to a house. They didn't know that they were being followed, but they know where they live.
Mm-hmm.
But they drive right into the garage, shut the door, and we don't know what else to do. The one guy went into the house and put a gun to the mother's head to get the money from her. And nobody said anything. So now that I know, I live next door to these people. I need to know what to do because I have children. There are children up and down our street that are little that get caught in the crosswalk.
See me after the meeting, would you please? Again, we don't want anybody following anybody. Don't put yourself in harm's way. That's our job. Be the eyes and ears. Be a good witness. Just having a presence. Again, when we come up with the T-shirts, if you're out, and again, this doesn't have to be a huge, big, orchestrated deal. Take your dog. If you happen to be taking your dog for a walk, throw on your T-shirt. Somebody driving down your street or walking down your street may take note of it, and again, they don't want to be there and risk getting seen or identified or caught, that type of thing. We don't want anybody being vigilantes. We don't want anybody carrying firearms or trying to act as a police officer. We absolutely do not want that. Yes, ma'am. Go to your coordinator.
Find out how and when.
Absolutely. All right. Was there somebody else over here? Yes, sir.
I'm just thinking about carrying a sidearm.
Michigan law certainly, if you have the proper concealed pistol license, certainly gives you the right to carry a firearm, concealed and whatnot. What we are urging, and we had a meeting with my command staff last week, is as part of this program, we are strongly discouraging people from doing so if you are operating as part of this program. There are just too many liability issues, too many things that could possibly go wrong. I mean, well, I'll throw it out there, that Trayvon Martin case in Florida a year or two ago. We certainly would not want one of our residents to get caught up in something like that. But as a private resident, that is certainly your right. Again, we're discouraging it because we don't have the control to make sure you're properly trained. We don't want you out there acting like a law enforcement officer under the auspices of this program. So we can talk more about that when we have the coordinator meetings with people in the areas, but that's our stand on that. Yes, ma'am.
Is there going to be like a criteria? Because, I hear neighbors complain about kids out late, screaming, and then you have kids scream, or like the guns.
Right.
Like if you decide to be a block coordinator, do more all this little petty BS coming your way?
Honestly, no. But I understand that hell is relative, and if you know what I mean, what it's a problem for you may not be a problem for somebody else. It's all relative. Certainly, if you're someone who's a block captain and you have somebody who's complaining about, kids out playing in the street, or whatever, kids are going to do that kind of thing. They're kids. As long as they're not hurting somebody, bothering somebody, breaking the law, we've got to keep things in perspective, is what I'm saying. But by all means, if there is things that, you know, to us may be petty, but to somebody else it's a quality of life issue, there's certainly things we can do about it, and we can evaluate those things as they come up. Does that make sense? Okay. Yes, Miss.
Is there a way that we can get?
Well, I'm not used to hearing her without a microphone in front of her.
You gotta turn it up.
Is there a way we can get in touch with the coordinators with their email address or phone number?
Yep.
or
So what we're going to do in a minute, if I've answered everybody's questions, we're gonna do that straight away. Is that we'll have them come up. You'll get their info. You can sign up, and they'll be in touch with you. Again, this is whatever level it is you feel comfortable participating. And when we have our follow-up meeting, we can certainly, you know, talk about that. But you're all going to be assigned to a coordinator. Yes.
I have a question.
Of course you do.
Let's say there is a meeting between the coordinators, a block club. Let's say we request to have one of your staff, let's say from the traffic division, come to that meeting.
Absolutely. That's all part of this. Again, the initial meetings we'll talk about training, like our protocols, like I just explained about the firearms. We're gonna have some rules and some guidelines that we want people to follow in order to do this as safely and effectively as possible. And certainly, you know, we have people who are pretty skilled and trained in a lot of different areas. And if there's a need for somebody to come out to your particular neighborhood and talk about traffic, or one of our narcotics officers to come out, you know, about a particular problem and really get a feel. Part of this also, I skipped probably my favorite part of this, is once these groups are established, based on which section of the city you're in, you'll also be assigned to a neighborhood liaison officer. And what that's going to be is either one of my supervisors or members of the auxiliary police will be assigned to your groups, and they can also act as a liaison as well as with your coordinator to really get involved and get some ownership of what the issue is, and perhaps solve it more better and quickly. In the example of, you're on Cornell, correct? So what we did last year is I had a group of, or 2 years ago rather, we had a group of individuals in a neighborhood experiencing similar problems like you. And I was on the phone quite a bit with people, and again, because of the communication issue with having officers working different shifts and different dispatchers and different call takers, they never put it together.